And now a little story from the apple seed.
One time, this was a while back, I was at a storytelling conference where I attended a workshop by this storyteller named Granny Sue. And she was a wonderful Appalachian ballad singer. So she was singing all these beautiful ballads one after another, and many of the people in the workshop knew the ballads and they were singing along with her. And I was just there feeling bad that I did not have a ballad, an Appalachian ballad in my repertoire. So I went home and said to my partner, Eshu, write me a Japalachian ballad. So this is what he wrote for me. It's an old Japanese folktale, and the music comes from, again, a traditional melody called Kokiri Kobushi. The story is a famous one. It's called The Crane Wife. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. Sad would it be for a wounded crane, watching her sisters as they fly south. Sad would it be for a lonely woodsman in his passing youth. In the woods he found her, kindness bound her, past winter safely in his care. When she was well, he watched her free as she soared into the air. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. Sadly he turned back to his shack, back to his lonely life once more. Morning found a lovely maiden standing at his door. Where he had once been sad and lonely, now his days were filled with love. How could he understand this fortune given from above? Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. Though love was plenty, cupboards empty, hunger could soon make passion fade. I can weave, said the lovely maiden, fortune will be made. Though there was so much she gave freely, one thing she refused to share. While I am weaving, you must promise not to look in there. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. All through the night she toiled weaving, as she wove she softly wept. He could not hold her nor console her, the promise must be kept. Morning came, her toil was ended, now their fortune could be made. Such was the beauty of this fabric, much gold would be paid. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. Once again their joy was boundless, hearts entwined in a perfect blend. Once again, as time must pass, all thing comes to an end. I will weave just one more time, but promise not to ask again. Also remember to keep your promise not to look within. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. Nights without sleeping, anguished weeping, chilled him till his blood ran cold. If such a pain was the price of weaving, what good would be gold? How could she expect him to take it? He made a promise, but he had to break it. He stood behind the curtain, everything uncertain, but what he saw was not what he expected to see. Eyes deceiving, not believing what he saw in the weaving loom. There stood a beautiful snow-white crane, weaving feathers in the loom. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be. Love was a reason, gone our season. Now to my home I must return. Now we have lost and paid the cost, though love will always yearn. Off did she fly with no goodbye, sailing away into heaven's gleam. Long did he grieve, trying to believe it was more than just a dream. There on the loom, in her weaving room, sat a clothes worth a young man's weight in gold. But no matter what the rich man offered, it never would be sold. Sharing our love, we can weave our lives into a fabric of great beauty. But one promise broken can soon unravel the greatest tapestry. Each gentle snowflake, perfect as can be, melts and passes as will always be.
Thanks for joining us for a little story from the Appleseed.